Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of On the Brain with me, your host, Caleb B. Davis. My insurance at work kicked in and I wanted to go to the dentist and just have my routine exam done, get my cleaning out of the way. It had been some time since I had dental insurance, so I knew it wasn't going to be what I wanted to hear. Prior to this appointment, I think I was 22 the last time I had dental insurance. I was on my parents' insurance. I had never had a cavity. I was born without wisdom teeth. I am just a phenom as far as I am concerned in this dental margin of whatever kind of metric you could take. I don't know how many teeth I was gifted with or born with and without, but I know there were no wisdom teeth. I found out from x-rays when I was a younger teenager. My dentist was like, "Oh, so you already had your wisdom teeth removed?" And I literally told her, well, that must have been a good procedure with heavy medication because I don't remember that. And she was like, "Oh, you're rare. You were born without them." And I was like, "Oh shit." And my mom looked at me like a smart ass. You'll find out this is where I get it. She's like, "Born without wisdom teeth? Makes sense." And the dentist is all like laughing. I'm like, "Oh, get out of here." I went to this new dentist, right? I mean, like, I don't want to be the type to stereotype, so like don't accuse me of that, but I had never seen a black dentist before. And so the lady at the reception desk, I had only seen her sitting down looking at me from her chair, and she was shitty towards me when I got there because I was like 5 minutes late. And then they called me back like as soon as I sat down. I hadn't even finished filling out like this paperwork she told me I had to do. I get back there and they let me sit for like 10 minutes. I finish the paperwork, I give it to them, and I'm just sitting there, and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is playing on TV above me. I'm not making that up. I'm sitting there, and at this point I didn't even know that the dentist was black yet, and it doesn't matter. So then they were like, "All right, we're gonna have the hygienist come. She's gonna clean your teeth up a little bit, kind of like take some pictures, whatever." That's what she did. She took some x-rays, took some pictures, cleaned my teeth up, whatever, a little bit, kind of, not really. And then they were like, "Okay, we need you to rinse your mouth." They were like, "But the sink you have to spit in is like in a different spot." And they made me like get up and go to a different area to spit my water. They told me to spit all this water out in this miscellaneous sink they had in this very oddly plumbed dentistry. They're like, "And we're also going to need you to return to a different seat because that's where the dentist will see you." And I said, "Okay, that sounds good." It is 9 o'clock in the morning. I get there at 9:05. I'm seated. I'm talking. It's like 9:08, 9:10. The paperwork's done, whatever. And all this is going down at this nurse at like 9:15. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to get to my new destination. She tells me, like, "We need you at this new chair." I go to walk to the chair, and the dentist sees me, and I see him, and I'm like, "Oh, my dentist is black." And I'm like, "That's cool." I was like, I've never been to a dentistry where I've been I've never had a black dentist work on my grill, yo. Like, like I don't know. It's just never happened before. I thought, I was like, cool, all right. And he's looking at me, he starts talking to me from a ways away, and he's like, "Hey, are you Caleb?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And I start kind of like smirking at him a little bit, and he looked up at me and he's like, "Oh man, you got dimples?" And I looked at him and he said, "My daughter's got dimples." And I was like, "Oh." And he said, "Yeah, she gets them from her mama." And I looked at him and I was like, "Cool." And he's like, "Do you get your dimples from your mama?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah. I don't know who I get my fucking dimples from until this motherfucker's got me thinking questions like this shit." Like, I'm like, who do I get my dimples from?" So, yeah, I guess I get my dimples from my fucking mama. I didn't find out until I went to my fucking dentist. But on my way out, he's like, "All right, you're going to have to go see the lady on the way out. She's going to give you a paper. We're going to have to schedule you to come back since you were late for your appointment." Okay. Went back to the receptionist. My appointment is completed at this point, so she's a little bit nicer to me. And she's like, "Let me go ahead and print out this scheduled reminder for your return visit in 2 or 4 weeks or whatever, so that way you can come back and we can complete your appointment." And I said, "Okay, that sounds great. Thank you." At this point, I'd already decided I'm not fucking coming back to this dentist. They didn't take any of my information. They didn't take my fucking driver's license. I'm going somewhere else, somewhere another time. The nurse says, I'm going to go get this off the printer. And she gets up from her chair and she turns around and she's got literal fucking cum shots on the backside of her scrubs. It's the only other way I know how to describe it. And I wasn't gonna do or say anything to cause any notice of this. However, there was another person behind me also waiting to speak with this receptionist. When she tells me, hey, I'm gonna go get this print off reminder, and she stands up, turns around, walks away to get off the printer, and I notice this. Behind me, what alerts me to the person behind me is this older woman who, when the nurse, receptionist, whatever you want to call the computer typing lady, that lady, when she got up to go get this paper for me, when she turned around and I saw this a half a second later, I hear the lady behind me go, oh my. And I was like, I'm gonna find me a new fucking dentistry. Dr. Dimples over here ain't got shit to be doing putting his fucking fingers in my fucking mouth. There ain't no shit to be doing. What are you doing? What's happening? I don't get it. This backshot receptionist and Dr. Dimples up in this hoe, bro. It's like, my daughter got dimples. Where you get your dimples from? Your mama or your daddy? I wanted this one to be a little bit more timely. I hope that you've all been doing well. And I'm going forth under the assumption that, yeah, that is true. I'm so out of practice as far as hosting a podcast or really even having a conversation with a person. Can I get a round of applause? Go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, with the snappies in the car. I don't care where you're driving. Anyone who is willing enough to put me in their head is probably driving. You need to balance out my lunacy with DFW traffic in all likely chances. We have new stickers. Madison, her creative efforts have resulted in new stickers. Those are available. Again, we were asking for like a $10 PayPal donation. It's not necessary. The requirement, join the Discord channel, shoot me a message. We'll get it all coordinated, but that's the requirement. Send me a message on there. There's already somebody who I am in the process of getting their information to send them stickers. There's already people I have sent stickers to. They're pretty sweet. They're nice. I like them. The new ones are better. My wife did a great fucking job with them, and I love them. They're callbacks, noteworthy to things from episodes in the past. Jeremy made a point to say that this is not all rainbows and sunshine here on this podcast, and jokingly tried to create a very unjoking hashtag fuck Austin Vandy campaign. And with this platform, I want to address that because it's something that has been kind of eating me up in my head a little bit, where I'm like, that's not quite what I want to accomplish here with this podcast. I just want to keep whatever it is that is involved in the discussion relevant to my daughters and their life with this family, as far as how I'm seeing everything as their disciplinarian and their father. I'm fortunate. I'm lucky. I love my family. I love my wife. My daughters, their health is something that I've really tried to prioritize and focus on to make sure that they can be as happy in their life as possible, just simply from how happy they have made my life. I find myself in a very fortunate moment right now where the people around me are as healthy as they can be. My two daughters, who are in what I would consider some relatively moderately compromised medical positions as premature babies, they're doing well, and that's something I don't take for granted. I'm fortunate. My wife is fortunate. We are appreciative. We are very aware, and we understand things did not need to be this way, and even then, they were very hard. It was very tough. It was very challenging. This episode's coming out a little bit late here because, I was taking more time to try to enjoy my family around me and spend Mother's Day with my mom and Maddie. This is her first Mother's Day. I feel like a piece of shit because I did not reach out to Maddie's mom directly. I fell short this Mother's Day. I got very caught up in trying to make Maddie's very first Mother's Day noteworthy and special. That's a hard thing to try and take on as a challenge. And that impact is something I don't even know how to put into words. It's akin to the same emotions I'd say that I have for these girls, my daughter's mother, and how enjoyable Mother's Day was. We went out to my parents' cabin and we spent the weekend there as much as we were able. We did get caught in a storm on the drive back. It was par for the course. Every time my wife and I go to East Texas, we catch a storm out there and we end up having to stay inside. But even when Madison and I are out there, we'll usually brave whatever the weather conditions are and go fishing. That's fun. We didn't fish much this time around, but we did have a lot of fun with the family. And again, those moments are not lost on us. Madison was able to go spend time with her mom on Sunday. I am sorry I did not wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Madison still doesn't even have her Mother's Day gifts yet. They still haven't gotten here in the mail. I feel bad. I feel worse than bad. I do feel awful because I wanted to make it nice. I wanted to make it perfect and very special, and I found myself chasing the perfection fallacy in short time, and I was like, why did I do this to myself? And I told her very honestly. That concludes this episode of On the Brain with me, your host, Funny CBD, Caleb B. Davis. Follow this podcast on Instagram at OnTheBrainPod. In your ear and on the brain again with new episodes to tune into every week. Be sure to see the links in the description of this episode to donate to our PayPal as well as to join our community on Discord. Thank you.